With a clear public sector enterprises policy for Atmanirbhar Bharat, laying out the government's intention of limiting its presence in strategic sectors and privatizing or closing PSUs in non-strategic sectors, there could be an increased push to privatize non-strategic PSUs next financial year. In the present year, the government's focus has been on completing pending privatization transactions, but the COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions therefore have made the task difficult. Although the centre found a buyer for Air India, some big ticket divestments like Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited have been reportedly delayed as bidders are struggling to find partners. Even as the government would continue with such sales, it will also initiate the process for non-strategic sectors which are expected to interest private participants more. In all, there have been about 50 public sector enterprises that have been identified in both strategic and non-strategic sectors by the Niti Aayog for privatization. In its effort to push privatization of PSUs in non-strategic sectors, the centre has tweaked the process. Earlier this month, the government empowered the Department of Public Enterprises, which has been brought under the Ministry of Finance, to identify PSUs in non-strategic sectors for privatization. This is a change from privatization in strategic sectors, where the Niti Aayog identifies candidates and DIPAM takes approval of a panel headed by the Cabinet Secretary before finally taking the proposal to the Cabinet. The change in the privatization process has been done to fast-track approvals, as the divestment process is time-consuming and market-driven. The government has also announced that its focus now would be privatization, and minority stake sales will take a backseat.
The government has to basically first finish up the pipeline. Right now, if you see the kind of assets which are up for sale in terms of monetization and divestment, you have the names of the big bigs like BPCL, Concor, BEML. So all these are big names, including SCL for that matter. So what the thing is that because of, these assets which are considered to be the best for sale are first to be monetized, and they have been derailed because of the long drawn process which the government actually has because of their own standard protocols. So though there is a target of 1.75 lakh crores, to be taken from the divestment, but fact of the matter is only about 43,000 crores have been realized. So these have to be streamlined and act upon in a faster way so that all these targets which have been set by the government could be met within time. Other thing which the government has to do is that basically it could bucketize certain assets into three categories. These categories would be such that, for instance, assets such as BPCL, SCIL of the world, which are actually bankable and marketable, they should be given a category A. Then there should be certain assets which should be revived, but they are not doing very well. They should be brought to category B. And thirdly, there should be certain category of assets which are actually dead assets. And those PSUs, the state-run PSUs are all shut. Then basically the government should identify what kind of assets can be stripped out of it and how to gain maximum from these kind of things. So rather than just saying that, strategic and non-strategic, I would say identify assets into certain buckets, and then basically create a pipeline for monetization of these assets. So before getting into this kind of asset monetization, which is actually a very grand plan, the government actually should appoint right kind of agencies to do a precursor to these particular companies and see that, what kind of companies should come. And thereafter, once this study is done, then you will know that what are the real bottlenecks. For instance, when we talk about LIC is not only regulated by IRDA. LIC has to be basically also brought to the fore in terms of SEBI. LIC also has to be seen from the light of FEMA. Once these bottlenecks are already identified, then the government actually can give a very good remission, or I would say concession on plate, to the investors, because these issues are already identified and can be deliberated in a better way. I would say that instead of saying a blanket SOPs in terms of tax exemption or anything, rather a precursor study should be done.
Another area that would see a renewed push would be privatization of two public sector banks. Recurrent disruptions in parliament by the opposition has deferred legislation to enable the privatization of PSBs as announced in Budget 2021. These legislation are now expected to be introduced in Parliament during the budget session. Even as the government is looking to privatize 2 PSBs, it is looking to hold at least 26% in these lenders, according to the proposal moved by the Department of Financial Services. News reports suggest that the Niti Aayog has identified Central Bank of India and Indian Overseas Bank for privatization. The government will likely complete the process to privatize one public sector insurance company next year. The Niti Aayog had suggested privatizing United India Insurance Company. Besides privatization, the government is also expected to push its 6 trillion national monetization pipeline and bring states on board to share their plans to monetize assets. It is expected that the finance minister will provide some incentives to private sector to make participation in the monetization process attractive.
What is needed from the private sector is a time-bound rollout of the program, and that's very important and critical. The other aspects then in terms of fiscal parts of it will be very limited, but in terms of ease of doing this is important. What I mean by that is from ease of exit for a successful bidder, assets to be given with as little of baggage, either in financial or in operating terms. The third important one is some level of standardization of process, also delegation of power to the concerned authority, and guarantees if the user fee has a component which can get impacted by government policies. Last but not the least is comfort and continuity of the terms of the contract. I think these are the 4 critical things that the private sector will be looking at in terms of the asset monetization. A like-to-like kind of a contribution could be one part. The second could be, if in terms of financial aspects, I meant towards the debt part of it. If there's a significant debt overhang on a particular asset for any reason, then remove those away from the project and give it as clean as possible. So that is what will be more important. So the fiscal incentives can come in that particular nature to a particular project, because at the end of the day, it's an asset that we are talking about. So it's very difficult to have any kind of a tax aspect linked to a particular asset. But those debts, which is specifically to the SPVs, those can be taken away.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.